Method of working. According to method of mining, coal mines are two types: open cast mines, underground mines. Open cast mines. In open cast method, soil and rock coal overburden lying over a small area of the coal seam is blasted, excavated, and dumped on non-coal bearing surface nearby. The exposed coal is blasted and mined. Operations of removal of overburden and extractions of coal continue. After coal has been removed over a large area, the overburden is dumped in a trench formed by removal of coal. This is called backfilling. Overburden is excavated in steps called benches for reason of safety and ease of extractions. Coal seams is also extracted in the wide roadways called haul road because they are used for transporting or hauling of overburden or coal. Advantage of open cast method: wherever conditions permit, coal is mined by open cast method because it has several advantages. The method is cheap and safe. There are no problems of ventilations, gas, fire, explosion, inundations, and roof fall. High rate is productions can be achieved quickly by employing large machineries, but if the coal bearing area is under the surface, features like villages, important roads, railways, lines, rivers, nala, fertile land or forest, and these are to be saved. Or if the seam is situated at a great depth or steeply dipping, coal has been mined underground method. Okay. Open cast mines are managed. Open cast mines are managed by manager under assistant manager, engineer, excavation and electrical machinery, mechanical and foreman, but primary mining supervision is done by the mining sardar and overman. Okay. In India, about 85% of coal productions comes from the open cast. Underground mines, where the coal seam is situated at shallow depth, it is reached from the surface by incline. A deep-seated seam is approached by the shaft. Whether the seam is approached by inclines or shaft method of extractions of the coal or more or less the same. A roadway of coal is called gallery. A roadway of coal is called gallery. A gallery driven along the strike of the seams, it called be level gallery. A gallery driven along the deep gallery. A gallery driven in the directions opposite to the deep directions is termed rise gallery. In olden day, gallery was board, solid block of coal left between the gallery is called pillar. Hence, the method was called board and pillar method. Pillars serve as a natural support. In underground mines, coal is usually extracted by the one of the following three methods: board and pillar method, longwall method, and board and room and pillar method. Board and pillar method: in this method, coal is extracted by two steps called development and depleting. Development is the work of drawing of level and deep rise gallery of the pillars. Seams developed in a panel up to mine boundaries. Two panels are separated by solid barrier of the coal. One pillar thick is these are called panel barrier. Depulering: once a panel has been developed up to the mine boundary, the work of extractions of pillar started from the boundary. This is called depulering. If after extractions of coal roof is allowed to fall, it is called depulering by caving. If the excavated area is filled up to the sand, the method is now depulering with stoping. Once coal extractions in a panel is completed, its approach are sealed by bricks stopping. If this is not done, the coal is left out in a gulf would develop spontaneous हीटिंग एंड फायर्स। अगर ऐसा नहीं करते तो फिर स्पॉन्टेनियस हीटिंग हो जाएगी और फायर हो जाएगी अगर हम लोग ब्रिक्स से स्टेपिंग नहीं बनाते। ब्रिक्स मीन्स आरसीसी और विदाउट आरसीसी। रेगुलेशंस नंबर वेंटिलेशंस वाले चैप्टर में long wall method. In this method, two galleries are driven 60 to 200 meter apart from a distance of 800 to 1000 meter. A cross gallery is driven to join them. One side of the gallery, like a long wall, then forms a face along with a coil is extracted. Hence, this method is termed long wall method. In simple word, long wall method is method of extraction of coil by 60 to 200 meter long face. Long wall method is commonly many other countries. It has been tried in the few mines in India. Initially, attempts were half heated. Recently, the method has been adopted in the few mines with Chinese assistance. It will take a long time and sincere effort to absorb the technology, but the method has much potential where conditions permit, especially because India has to increase production from underground mines in view of more coal reserve mineable by underground method and limited reserve mineable by the open cast method. Seams at great depth can be worked by long wall method only. क्या रहा है कि सीम अगर डिप्थ में है तो लॉन्ग वॉल मेथड ही बढ़िया है। रूम एंड पिलर मेथड. दिस इज सिमिलर टू बोर्ड एंड पिलर मेथड बट गैलरीज आर वाइड. Seam is developed by the continuous miner and shuttle car. The same machinery is used for extractions of pillar. The method of development has been explained with a sketch under the heading development in passage ahead. This method has been recently introduced in India in a few mines. Questions and answers concerning developed by the board and pillar method are given below. Replanning long wall and strong operations discussed above. Now board and pillar method development. डेवलपमेंट के बारे में थोड़ा डीपली आप पढ़ते हैं. रेगुलेशंस नंबर 111 FOL 111 FOL. Just 1 minute. Book are behind the phone. Development 111. Statutory provision for mine development. Mine will be developed in a panel barrier between two panels shall be 1 panel thick. Mine will be developed in a panel barrier between two panels shall be 1 panel thick. Then after height of the gallery at any place shall not be exceed 3 meter, shall not be exceed 3 meter, and wide shall be not exceed 4.8 meter. 4.8 meter. For mechanized mining, DGMS may be permit larger width. अगर mechanized mine है तो DGMS आपको permissions ले सकते हैं. Okay. Size of pillar shall be depend on the depth from the surface and wide of the gallery. Minimum pillar size is prescribed in regulations 111 के बोर्ड में. Normally pillars should be rectangular in shape. No narrows main or advanced heading mule shall be driven more than 3 meter ahead of widened gallery. No working shall be made within a distance equal to half of pillar size for depth from the surface and gallery width 4.8 meter from boundary of the mines, so that two adjacent mine of the barrier of 1 pillar. No working shall be made within a distance equal to half pillar or pillar the size for the depth from the surface and gallery width of the 4.8 from the boundary of the mine. Where work is done is in more than one seam barrier at a boundary shall as a far practicable be vertically coincident and of the same dimensions. When development is be done within 60 meter of the mine boundary, management of adjacent mines will be informed. 60 मीटर आ जाने पे जो एडजेसेंट माइंड है उनको इन्फॉर्म करना जरूरी है. 60 मीटर. The following types of working shall be not done without the prior permissions from the DGMS, CIM, RIM, सब included. Working in more than one sections in any sim. Working in two sims or sections lying within 9 meter of each other contiguous sim or sections. Working within 45 meter of railways, public road or building or permanent structures and not belonging to the owner property. Vertically below or within horizontally distance 50 meter from any river. 15 meter from any river. Canal like tanks, other server. ये 15 मीटर डाटा गलत है. वर्टिकल बिलो विदिन दी वर्टिकल अच्छा हॉरिजॉन्टल और विदिन हॉरिजॉन्टल डिस्टेंस 15 मीटर. 15 मीटर देखना होगा. 15 वाटर लोकेट तो 160 मीटर, डेंजर लाइन 60 मीटर, 120 स्टेटरी लाइन 75 मीटर, 15 मीटर है. अच्छा विदिन 60 मीटर ऑफ द वाटर लोकेट वर्किंग, ये सब के लिए परमिशन लेना होगा. Where any working is extended within the 30 meter from any group or deceived working containing likely contained in the accumulations of inflammable noxious gas, there shall be maintained at least one borehole not less than the 1.5 meter deep in the advance of working. No work shall be done in a seam at any place in the working in the lower seam may collapse. DGMS does not permit caving where the hard cover over the seam of the less than 7.5 meter. For the cover 7.5 meters, 15 meter permission is given to the restricted with the galleries split. Hence, seam with hard covers less than the 50 meter will not develop, or it preferably work by open cast. DGMS does not permit caving where hard cover over the seam is less than 7.5 मीटर से अगर कम हो तो DGMS परमिशंस नहीं देगी केविंग के लिए. What is panel? Describe provision of the regulations regarding the panel system from the working. What are the advantage of panel system of working? Describe briefly work by the panel. Panel, while developing a seam set of 5 to 7 galleries at a end which are separated from adjacent set by coal barrier 1 pillar wide, this now as the panel. ओके 5 से 7 गैलरी को मिला के हमारे एक पैनल बनाते हैं जो कि सेपरेटेड करते हैं सबको. प्रोविजन ऑफ रेगुलेशंस. एवरी सीम और सेक्शन शुड बी डिवाइडेड इनटू ए नंबर ऑफ पैनल ऑफ डिस्ट्रिक्ट दैट ईच पैनल गेट ए करंट ऑफ फ्रेश एयर from the main intake and independent ventilation so that any panel can be easily isolated from other panel. Where development has already been done without making the proper panel, artificially panels will be made by contrasting isolation stopping. Size of deploying panel shall be such that all panels of the panel can be extracted within the incubation period. Size of panel shall be such that all pillar of the panels extracted within the incubation period. Before commencing work of pillar extractions in any panel, 5 dam isolation stopping shall be constructed every entry of the panel except those required to be kept of the open ventilations or holes. In this entire preparatory isolations stopping shall made and bricks and other materials shall be completely the stopping shall be available nearby. As soon as work replanning in a panel is completed, shall be sealed off, completing the stopping. Advantage of panel: every panel get fresh air from the main intake and as extractions of coal complete, the panel is sealed off. Within the incubation period, there is no danger of the spreading of fire. In this event of development of spontaneous heating is any panel, it can be easily isolated and work of other panel is not disturbed. Air blast in any panel does not affect other panels since every panel is surrounded by the solid barrier of the coil. Possibility of overriding or pillar of eliminated. Since work is done by panel, each of the work has been solid barrier around in subsidence of the surface is reduced. Soon after completing development work in any panel, it depilating work can be commenced. It does not have to wait for development for other panel. This minimizes the problem of stability, ventilation, spontaneous combustion. Supervision of the work become easy. As now, next question is: assume you are the own conditions. Describe the operations of development panel to produce 400 tons of the coal per day from the 3-meter thick degree in the gaseous seams. Gaseous seams second degree support at second degree productions 400 tons per day. Depth of the seam 1 in 30. Gallery size 4.8 meter into 3 meter. Pillar 25 into 25. Specific gravity 1.3. Roof fed RMR 50. Method of work: seam deep being mild. Okay, hold dumpers can easily lay out of the six level panel. Sound the sketch. Development should be extended in the extract directions. Return intake. Blasting could be started by solid blasting. P5 explosive and delay detonator should be used, assuming blasting of the round. Hollows of every phase progress in the 1.4 meter can be accepted. One average panel should be 10 phase. Coal per wide of the height hydrogen progress gravity. कोल पर ब्लास्टिंग क्या लेंगे, वाइट लेंगे, हाइट लेंगे, प्रोग्रेस लेंगे और स्पेसिफिक ग्रेविटी 26 टन 80% पर डे. Okay. Support after dressing the freshly exposed rope will be supported by 1.5 meter long current grounded bolts. Distance between the bolt 1 meter. Distance between the row 1 meter from the first row to 1.8. At the junctions, rope bolt will be installed 0.8 meter interval. Okay. रूफ बोल्टिंग के बारे में सपोर्ट में पढ़ेंगे अच्छे से. रूफ बोल्टिंग के बारे में loading and transport. For the loading of blasting coal from the phase 3, LSD will be used. LSD drop the coal at the rise MDCC. Medium DB chain conveyor will the carried of the belt conveyor. The belt conveyor is transferred of the underground working for the bunker working. Main machinery: LSD coal drills, rope bolting drills, MDCC, medium DB chain conveyor, belt conveyor, auxiliary fan. Main power per ship: LSD operator, LSD helper 3 ड्रिलर्स एंड हेल्पर 6 होंगे. एक्सप्लोसिव कैरियर 2 होंगे. ड्रेसर 2 होंगे. सपोर्ट मिस्त्री 2 होंगे. सपोर्ट मजदूर 2 होंगे. कन्वेयर खलासी 3 होंगे. वाटर स्प्रे क्लीनिंग 4 होंगे. पंपिंग खलासी 1 होंगे. इलेक्ट्रिशियंस एंड हेल्पर 4 होंगे. मैन पावर ऑलमोस्ट 159 into 3. तीनों शिफ्ट को लगा के 177 की मैन पावर चाहिए. प्रोडक्शन 400 टन निकालने के लिए. डिस्ट्रिक्ट OMS 400 divided by 2 per day का 2.3. Okay, OMS stand for the output per man shift, that is daily productions per man shift is 2.3 tons. Okay. What precautions will be taken while working multi-sections and contiguous working? Precautions in multi-sections and contiguous working. Precautions multi-sections and contiguous working. No working is higher seam or sections should be done in any area lower seam or section. यार थोड़ी तबीयत खराब है, बोलते पेट भी स्टोमक भी मेरे को. जस्ट 1 सेकेंड थोड़ा सा. जस्ट 1 मिनट पॉज कर लो। Precautions and precautions in multi sections and contiguous working. No working in a higher seam or section should be done in any area in lower seam or sections which may be collapsed. कोई भी हायर सीम या फिर ऐसा कोई भी सेक्शंस में काम नहीं करे जिससे कोलेप्स होने का खतरा हो। प्रिकॉशंस परमिशंस ऑफ CIM शॉल बी टेकन, और चीफ इंस्पेक्टर ऑफ माइंस से जो भी अनुमति चाहिए वो लेनी होगी, जैसे कि वर्किंग ए सीम इन मोर देन 1 सेक्शंस, अगर एक से 2 सीम में आप काम कर रहे हैं या ज़्यादा कर रहे हैं तो आपको CIM से परमिशंस लेनी होगी। वर्किंग 2 सीम और सेक्शंस लाइंग विद इन 9 मीटर कंटिन्यूस वर्किंग, अगर 9 मीटर्स के अंतर्गत कोई दूसरी सीम है तो उसके लिए भी चीफ इंस्पेक्टर से आपको लेनी होगी परमिशंस। पिलर एंड गैलरी शॉल बी वर्टिकली superimposed, however if inclinations is more than 300 degrees, such permissions is not necessary। कह रहा है कि अगर वर्टिकल सुपरिम्पोज्ड होती है तो फिर इंक्लिनेशन इज मोर देन 30 डिग्रीज, तो उस समय भी आपको एनीवेज पार्टिंग बिटवीन 2 सीम्स और सेक्शन शॉल नॉट बी लेस देन द 3 मीटर एट एनी प्लेस, और जो भी पार्टिंग होगी 2 सीम के बीच की वो नॉट लेस देन द 30 मीटर्स इन एनी प्लेस। ओके, अरे ये कैमरे में यहाँ पे लिखूँ, यहाँ पे ठीक है। टू चेक coincident vertical and thickness of parting borehole or stable pit should be made alternate pillar junctions in level and deep rise directions. For convenience of the ventilations, haulage, pumping and supervisions, the 2 seams should be interconnected by the necessary number stable pit and drift. Then after working of the both seams shall be under the charge of same overman. For the conveyance of ventilations, haulage, pumping and supervisions of the 2 seams shall be interconnected by the necessary number of stable pits or drift. Any new phase shall be opened only after surveyor gives center line. Surveyor shall be carry out survey once in a week, और प्रत्येक एक हफ्ते में सर्वे करेगा। Then after next question is enumerate effect of faults on depolaring, or precautions to be taken during the depolaring in fault area। और अगर डिप्लेरिंग के दरमियान कोई फॉल्ट पाई जाती है तो क्या प्रिकॉशंस लेंगे। इफेक्ट ऑफ फॉल्ट की देखते हैं क्या होता है। इफेक्ट ऑफ फॉल्ट ऑन डिप्लेरिंग नॉट ए डेवलपमेंट। डेंजर्स ऑफ detached roof fall slip, okay, dangers of premature fall, tendency of subsidence to extend toward the fault plane, possibility of large make of a gas and water, possibility ज़्यादा होगी गैस की और वाटर। precautions during depolaring in faulted area, quick actions with a small exposure of roof at a time, only 2 and 3 pillars to be attacked at a time with diagnosis of extractions, wall length of the fault not be exposed at a time, directions of phase advance not be parallel to fault plane but at an angle, call barrier to be left on the other side of the fault, system support, effective ventilations and carefully check of the gas, arrangement for dealing with water, good stone dusting, effective supervision. A 4 meter thick coal seam dipping in 1 in 2.5 proposed to be developed by semi-mechanized method, Roof and floor consist of hardened sandstone. Describe the method of the given. Proposed masonry manpower and the supervision other conditions can be assumed. कह रहा है नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन कह रहा है कि 4 मीटर थिक कोर सीम है, डिपिंग है 1:2.5 प्रपोज टू द डेवलप सेमी मैकेनाइज्ड मेथड बिचल और रूफ एंड कंसिस्ट हार्ड सैंडस्टोन की है। तो आप डिस्क्राइब कीजिए मेथड ऑफ वर्किंग कैसे क्या करेंगे। डेवलपमेंट ऑफ 4 सीम डिपिंग एट 1:2.5 by HDL given seam for thickness deep in 2.5 roof and floor hardened stone to be developed by the semi mechanized method. Choose of the method, assume conditions and decisions. Semi mechanized development can be with the LSD and or SDL using chain or belt conveyor. LSD cannot be used because of the steep deep floor of the hard, hence SDL can be used, but for the SDL फ्लोर ग्रेडियंट शुड नॉट एग्जिट 1/4। ओके, तो यहाँ से एक डाटा मिलती है कि HDL जो होती है वो ग्रेडियंट कितनी होनी चाहिए 1/4 और ग्रेडियंट शॉर्ट नॉट एग्जिट 1/4, नॉट एग्जिट 1/4, नॉट एग्जिट 1/4। Therefore, development will be done along a part deep of the 1/4. Okay, as per CMR gallery width and height should be not exceed 4.8 meter and 3 meter respectively. Therefore, development will be done in extensions height 3 meter along the floor, leaving 1 meter coil in the roof. Gallery will be limited 4.5 meter. Now assume filler size 30 into 30 gas degree, specific gravity of coal 1.3 tons per meter cube, required productions 800 ton per month. This will be obtained from 2 panel. Since seams in degree 1 solid blasting can be done with permissions from the regional inspector, proposed panel layout MDCC return something मेन मशीनरीज क्या क्या होगी पर पैनल HDL 4 LDCC 4 MDCC 2 belt conveyor 1 drill 6 panel 6 1 or more trunks conveyor will be required depending on length on the roadway. Drilling blasting solid blasting will be done in using P5 explosive. Delay detonator 1 round should be blasted in every phase per shift. Progress 1.2 meter. On average, 8 phase will be available. Production for the per blast phase with height and progress specific gravity of the core. इतना Daily productions per panel 2.8 in the 500 taking on according breakdown delays. Productions from the 2 loading and transport blasted could be loaded by HDL and dumped by LDCC. With development of disease transport taking main track of the body surface. Okay. अब थोड़ी बहुत रूप सपोर्ट भी करनी है। रूप सपोर्ट रूप will be supported by SSR system SSR design on the basis of RMR systematic support rule. Since roof is hard stone, it can be supported by 1.5 meter cement grounded bolt, 1 meter into 1 meter grid. Distance of the first row from face 1 point, देखो यहाँ से रूफ बोल्टिंग की डिस्टेंस भी आ गई। Distance between first row from face 1.8 meter maximum. Sections will be supported at 0.8 meter into 0.8 meter grid. Ventilations at least 284 meter cube per minute. Air will be sent to every face using auxiliary fan. Manpower per panel of the drip and dipler and per shift drilling helper, explosive carrier, sortier dresser, HDL operator, chain conveyor operator, belt conveyor operator, conveyor dresser, water classy, fan classy, electricians helper, fitter, mining surveyor. Total 2 panels. Common for 2 panels carry इतना under overman under manager. Total common of the for 2 shift. Surface shift attendance, collect body के checker, limp room maintenance, total production of the ship overall 450, ओके, मैन पावर की जरूरत होगी। ओएमएस आउटपुट मैन क्या था ओएमएस का फुल फॉर्म? ओएमएस आउटपुट मैन पर शिफ्ट, नहीं आउटपुट ओएमएस का क्या था फुल फॉर्म? आउटपुट मैन सप्लायर, आउटपुट देखना होगा, 1 मिनट। ओएमएस का फुल फॉर्म अभी तो पढ़े थे ना, ओएमएस कहाँ गई भाई, कहाँ गई? अच्छा, नेक्स्ट टाइम अगर मिलता है ओएमएस की फुल फॉर्म तो उसको हम लोग नोट डाउन कर लेंगे। Now, what precautions will we take in what precaution will we take in a gallery development in broken, disturb and crushed ground? तो कह रहा है कि precautions in development through broken and crushed ground, reducing gallery width and height, minimum blasting, carefully drilling so not disturbing the roof, minimum number of holes, reduce the charge per hole, hole face may be not blasted, blasting may be restricted to only part of the lower portion of the side, increase good roof and side dressing, promote support and pressure export support at the distance as per SSR, resting the corresponding side of the use of the pooling and avoiding formations, jacksons and crested shown on the tight supervisor, development by continuous manner। अब देखिए continuous manner के साथ साथ development हम लोग कैसे करेंगे। Three miles CCF describe briefly the method of panel development by the continuous miners and shuttle car, development by continuous miners and shuttle car, layout of 5 heading development district in the sound sketch। 5 heading रखनी है। The district has 1 contiguous miners and 2 shuttle car of 10-ton capacity within 200 meter electric cable, okay। Shuttle car receive coil from the contiguous miners and dump it into the district belt of conveyor through a feed breaker. Feeder breaker limit the size of lamps and regulate the feeds to belt conveyor. Method of cutting and support. Cutter head of the continuous minus 3.3 meter wide. The machine sums and 0.5. Method of cutting and support. Cutter head of the continuous miner is 3.3 मीटर वाइड रहती है। मीटर वाइड। द machine sump in 0.5 to 0.75 meter at roof level and then shears down to floor level. After advancing 4 to 6 meter, the machine is repositioned the take second phase 2.3 to form overall gallery width of the 5.6 meter. Gallery height 4.5 meter since for large width. The height especially permissible is taken from the DGMS. Contiguous miner cut 10 meter beyond the last of the roof bolts. Operator control the remotely for the under supported roof. Once cut off has been complete, continuous miner trimmed adjacent heading to the continuous cutting cycles. The spontaneous mobile rope bolter into the first heading installed. The bolter has 4 wheels. Safety continuous minus produce as a loss of dust in spite of the wedge cutting. A dust excavator is therefore mounted in the machine's ventilation of the forcing equilibrium of blasting is manpower required at allow. All work is done from the supported productions. Total manpower 100 to for 3 shift production machines. Utilizations times in view capital cost of the higher machines and utilizations in marginal. The above system was first introduced to India in Anjan Hill Mine ACCL. जो कंटिन्यूस माइनस की अगर ऑब्जेक्टिव में अगर पूछ दिया जाए कि कंटिन्यूस माइनस का सबसे पहले कहाँ आई थी, तो द above system was first introduced in India in Anjan Hill Mines of ACCL South Eastern Coalfield Limited. It now being used in several mines. अब बहुत जगह माइंस में आ चुके हैं कंटिन्यूस माइनर. ओके, 5 18 डेवलपमेंट बाय द कंटिन्यूस माइनर से देखा. For description of continuous miner settle car, their safety features, see chapter of underground phase machineries. ओके, तो ये डेवलपमेंट हम लोग देख लिए बोर्ड एंड पिलर की और कंटिन्यूस माइनर्स की. अब ना डिपिलरिंग पे आएंगे. थोड़ा टाइम दीजिए, एक्चुअली तबीयत खराब हो रही है. मेथड ऑफ वर्किंग लॉन्ग वॉल तक है. इसके बाद कहाँ, इसके बाद क्या है? मेथड ऑफ वर्किंग सारी चीज़ हो जाएंगे. अभी डेवलपमेंट हुआ ना, फिर डिप्लेयरिंग आएंगे. डिप्लेयरिंग थोड़ी लंबी है, फिर लॉन्ग वॉल वाली डिप्लेयरिंग भी देखेंगे. तो उसके बाद शॉर्ट फायरिंग के सारे रूल्स और रेगुलेशंस. हाँ, उसके बाद सपोर्ट है ना, रूफ बोल्ट आ गया तो आई थिंक हाँ, स्टैंडर्ड कंट्रोल एंड सपोर्ट ऑफ द रूफ साइड. शॉर्ट फायरिंग रूफ बोल्ट हो जाएगा. तो डिप्लेयरिंग कुछ देर में स्टार्ट करेंगे, तो खाना पीना भी हो जाए ना. ओके.